let's talk about it. So when you hear the same question over and over again, does it eventually just like make the subject play on your mind, or does it just turn off and it's like, okay, I don't care?
It just means you guys are going to get the driest answers I've got. Like, oh, how was the flight? Good. How you adjusting to the time change? Well, like, you got to give me something in order to give you guys something.
If, let's say Tom wins on Saturday or you win, do you think this should count as a legitimate title defense for him, or should it count as an undisputed title win for you when they inevitably promote it to the undisputed title?
So basically you're asking if this is the real belt.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the real belt in my mind. In my mind, Jones versus Stipe is just their retirement fight. Not to be rude, but we know they're both 1 or 2 fights away, so more than likely this is their get the bag and get out fight, which is fine. That's how I view it.
Have you been surprised, like, how animated Dana's been about John Jones recently? It's like anytime his name even comes up, it's like, he's the best ever and stuff like that. Are you surprised that he's, like, so intense to push that?
No, this is Dana White, one of the greatest promoters in the world. He knows how to add hype and market. That's what he does. That's his job. One of the best at it. I'm not shocked. I expect it, actually.
Do you think he's doing it because he knows that John Jones is about to fight, so he's just sort of laying the table for that?
Yeah, that's how it feels. Like he wants to squeeze that juice, get the last drop, and he wants everyone to watch it. So that's how I view it.
Do you agree with him that John Jones is currently the pound-for-pound best, or do you think you have to be active to be in that discussion?
You got to be active. This isn't like a skill-based thing. This is an activity thing. He hasn't been that active. Can't be the best if you're not being active.
And how are you adjusting to the time change over here?
Well, you're cheeky.
Curtis right here. Sticking with the John Jones thing, though, but John, he goes on these Twitter Q&As with fans a lot, and he kind of said, in as short as that first fight was, he thought you were winning that fight. Did you think you were actually winning that fight, or was it just not quick enough or long enough to kind of...
I do feel like I was beginning to find my range. I'm sure everyone in here has watched that over. It's not hard to watch it 40 times in a row. I have. I do feel like I was starting to find my range. So, yes.
And how much of, obviously Tom is a high-level black belt, but he's, everyone says hyper-athletic, hits strong and fast. You've fought in, Derek Lewis and Ngannou, Sergey Pavlovich, the 3 heaviest hitters in this division. You trained for Jailton Almeida, who everyone said had the best grappling in this division. Did you have to do anything specifically for Tom that maybe you didn't have to do for those other guys?
Working with smaller guys a little bit just to get used to more hand speed, but that's the only adjustment.
I think I saw maybe you it might have been, I can't remember what video it was, but at one point you weren't taking MMA 100% seriously, I think. And I guess what switched in your mind so that now that you are taking MMA 100% seriously?
When I moved to Denver, prior to that, I was basically doing my workouts at a UFC gym. Sure. Didn't have anyone to spar with. I was sparring with featherweights. I was BSing. I got in the UFC just off my athleticism and being able to wrestle everyone. And I knew after I debuted against Ngannou, like where I was not the place to be in order to grow. Moved out to Denver, joined Elevation. We're now Forge, and the best decision I made in my career.
Do you think heavyweights get credit for being high-level martial artists because most people just kind of look at you and you can, hit them once and they go to sleep?
I think majority of fans, they just watch the highlights. They don't watch how did he set that up? Did he use a jab? Did he switch his stance? Did he use an inside leg kick to distract him? They just see hand on the face. The guy falls down. I think everyone, like, the way they judge heavyweights, we should be judged on a different scale because the exchanges that smaller guys have, like I was at the Denver fights. My buddy Drew Dober was fighting that Brazilian guy. They were banging. You can't do that at heavyweight. Those exchanges, we should be graded on a sliding scale. We don't get to, you can make a mistake at bantam, feather, light, even welterweight. After welterweight, mistakes become a lot more costly, but especially heavyweight. It could be a jab. I've seen heavyweights get dropped with jabs. It's not happening at bantamweight.
Right.
So I think we should just be judged on a different scale.
And unrelated to this fight, I don't know if you saw, but on November 1st, they're going to roll out some of these new rules that they approved changing. So 12 6 elbows, and they've redefined what a grounded opponent is. I'm curious, so you've clearly heard these, and what do you make of these new rule changes?
They feel very grappler friendly, so I'm surprised because I know a lot of people don't like grapplers. So I'm a little shocked, but I'm happy because the elbows especially, that's going to open up a lot of stuff. I kind of wish it was already active.
And John said that he might try to appeal that lone loss to Matt Hamill.
He should. I always view he's undefeated. Does anyone in here not agree? Oh, we got a contrarian? Oh. You're right. We all have to do the rules. You're right. That's a good one.
As a guy who made the mistake of saying
Oh, we're getting the banter.
No.
You appeal the referee.
Oh no.
Wasn't the guy who told Matt Hamill to fight back and Matt Hamill couldn't hear it?
There's one final one for me. Bilal Muhammad was in here, and he said, Chicago doesn't really have good pro sports right now, and, you guys can bring back the belts to Chicago. So how special is it to have him also chasing for the UFC title on this card?
It's amazing to have two guys from the same area. We both grew up on the South Side. It's amazing. I didn't really bump into him. That's how you know when I was home in Chicago, I wasn't really doing what I was supposed to be doing. Had I been, probably would have walked into Bilal years ago. But I think it's great. We got two opportunities to bring home a belt. I hope we go 2-0. It'll be great for the city. And in terms of Chicago sports, I believe in the Bears. This is the most excited don't you do that. This is the most excited I've been as the Bears fan in my adult life.
You think they're better than the Lions?
No, not better. I want growth. We don't got to win the division. I want growth.
Curtis, what have you made of Tom's performances since that first fight in 2022? He's shown devastating knockout power on the feet, and I think a lot of people expect your game plan to be take him down and expose him with those vicious elbows like you usually do. But would part of you like to stand and bang and try and surprise people?
I'm going to be organic. I don't enter fights with a game plan like, I have to do this, I need to do it. That's how you walk into traps. Because then it seems a lot more premeditated. I don't have plans like that. I just want to be in position. So if the takedown is there, I go for it. If it's not there, I'm not going to force it. And I do believe I can beat him on the feet. I don't believe I have to get a takedown. It would be nice because that's my world. But I can hang out on the feet too.
Are you used to being in enemy territory now as well? You did it once before 2 years ago. Does it feel business as usual now?
I've done it a bunch of times. I come from a wrestling background. I love going to other high schools, other colleges, and when their fans are booing you, I love that. I feed off that. In the UFC, it's a lot different. I can't hear you guys. You know that, right? I can't hear a thing anyone's saying. I've been to Australia, fought Mark Hunt. Didn't hear anything the fans were saying. We were prepared to go to Brazil. No offense, I've heard the Brazilian fans are a little scarier than the British fans. So if I wasn't scared of the Brazilians, I'm not scared of Brits.
And there's a lot of stories away from this fight in the heavyweight division as well, like the guys I mentioned, John Jones there, looming over everything. But we also have Alex Pereira's inevitable move to the heavyweight division as well.
Bad idea.
Bad idea for him.
Him, I'll give you my premeditated plan. I'm going to shoot immediately. Why would I give him any chance to knock me out on the feet when I know I can take him down at will? And I'm sure he has to know that. I think he's looking for a specific heavyweight, not any heavyweight. He has matchups against. I could see him beating guys like Tai. We watched him sparring Tai Tuivasa. Maybe some other guys in like the bottom of the top 15, but you give him a top 5 guy with some real weight, he's not winning.
When you mentioned shooting straight away, would part of it be in your mind the fact that he has a devastating flying knee when we kind of look at the Masvidal
I'm going to eat that
situation?
knee. I ate one from Alistair. You think he throws harder knees than Alistair. I know he got the aura going on right now, but I ate a knee from 265-pound Alistair. I'm good with eating knees.
So would you welcome
Yes.
in Alex Pereira to the heavyweight division if you win on Saturday
Yes.
night?
I know this is what everyone wants to hear. Yes, I would fuck up Alex Pereira. It's not because he's not good. I'm heavier than he is. Just a heavyweight, gravity, weight matters. It's not a skill based. That's just how it is.
Curtis here to your left. Obviously, second time in the UK. What's the reception been like?
It's been cool. We walked around a little bit, ran in the fans. They've all been respectful, very nice. Even the ones who are like, "Oh, I'm rooting for Aspinall, but you're a good guy." That's cool with me. That's all I want. I just want respect. You don't have to root for me. You don't have to like me. Respect.
And what do you make of the UK fans in comparison to other fans? You mentioned it there. You fought
Australia
in Perth, I believe.
Yeah.
And you obviously fought Jai Elton in Brazil recently. So
No, I wanted to. Originally, we were going to go to Brazil, but then I got injured.
Of course.
Yeah, it was
Sorry.
Miami, but I was prepared for that, and I was expecting that to be the worst ever. But yeah, British fans, you guys, you're cool. I mean, obviously, I know you're gonna, oh fuck you, da da da. I can't hear you
That's a
guys.
good impression.
I can't hear. I dream about it. But yeah, I can't hear you guys, but I expect it. No hard feelings. It is what it is. It would be the same thing if he was in Chicago. And I don't want my fans to be disrespectful, and I'm sure that's not what he wants. But fans are fans. They're drinking. It's cool.
And you mentioned it earlier there that you think that John and Stipe's fight is going to be their swan song. They're going to bow out their careers. Would it be a bit disappointing for you that if you win the title and then John sails off into the sunset and not have the opportunity to beat potentially the greatest fighter of all time?
A little disappointed, but I'm not going to be that sad. I have the belt, got money, another fight potentially down the line, more money. I'll be happy. I'll be straight.
And final one, are you and Tom going to share another beer after this fight?
I'd like to. Like I said, respectable guy, got no beef, got no animosity. These are my favorite type of matchups where it's all skill. We'll see who's best.
Curtis, just to piggyback on that question, talk to me about your memories from that beer shared with Aspinall, because it felt like even at the end of that fight, it's unfinished business. So when you're sitting there sipping a beer with him, is that what it felt like to you?
Yeah, I knew he was. How old is he now? He's a few years younger than me. I knew he'd be back. I knew he would get healthy. You guys have great health care out here. It's free. That's dope. Like I said, I knew he'd be back, and I knew he'd most likely have to scrap again. I didn't think he'd be over the belt, but I knew he would have to scrap again.
And Tom's created something of a heavyweight super camp down his ways. When you're looking at that, you spoke earlier about the people you've had to train with in the past. Are you quite envious of the team he's built, and are you hoping to build something like that over your side of the pond?
It would be nice. I win this, I get the belt, I have the resources. No, you're good. I have the resources to hire guys, bring them out. But right now, the guys I'm working with, I think they're the best in the world. They've helped me get here, so I'm good with those guys.
Curtis, straight in front of you here, sir. It's been a long road to get to this title fight from that debut in Croatia back in 2016. You've been very close to earning yourself a title shot, and it just hasn't quite worked out for you in those individual fights. Were there any moments over the course of that time where you sort of sat down and wondered whether it ever would happen for you?
After I beat Alistair, I was number 2. He was number 5. I beat him, or maybe it was reversed. Then I bumped up. But either way, I thought after I beat Hunt in February, I beat Alistair in June, and then they gave the interim title versus DC. They gave it to Derek Lewis. They didn't do it based off skill because he had just fought with Ngannou. I don't know if you guys watched that fight. Not much of a fight. He got that fight because he gives funny interviews, and I don't. That's what it is. If this was skill-based, if this was meritocracy-based, I had a better year leading up to that. Who should get the title fight? Should have been me. That was when I was probably the most like, what do I got to do? But then that's why I took the rematch with Ngannou. I thought, okay, I got to get in there. I gotta beat Ngannou. Didn't work, but That's what I was hoping to do. I knew I had to make a splash. And I know also that I lose opportunities because I don't get online and say funny, weird stuff. I don't post craziness. I don't give wild post-fight interviews. I understand that. I understand it puts me at a disadvantage, but it's not who I am. I didn't grow up like that. I came from wrestling. We don't talk smack. You shake the guy's hand before the match and after the match. Just a respectful guy, and I'm all right with the decisions I made. It still worked out. I still got the title fight. Just took a little longer than expected.
And if it all goes your way on Saturday night and they wrap that belt around your waist, given the journey that you've been on and the hard yards you've had to put in to get this shot, what would it mean to you to be crowned a world champion in the UFC after all this time?
It means everything. It means all the little decisions I made along the way, they'll be validated.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Curtis back here. 2 years ago, we were actually there at the O2 when you fought Tom Aspinall, and the crowd was absolutely crazy. But is there a part of you that would have wanted this rematch in the United States, or does location not affect you?
This could be on the moon. Fans, the venue does not matter. I don't know why y'all think it does, and you think the face-off banner is like, ooh, he won the face. None of that matter. I think I probably lost every face-off. I don't care where we fight because fans, they can't help him, can't hurt me. So the venue does not matter to me at all.
Hi, Curtis. Kaz for Title Sports Network. I noticed that you was meant to do a podcast with Bisping, and then your coach has said no. I was just wondering why. Was it because you was worried about him breaking down your game plan too much?
Well, we know Bisping's homies, and I don't want to put him in a position where he has to feel like he has to be a certain person around me that he wouldn't be around Aspinall. It was just, I know it's weird, so it was just easier that way. I would love to do a podcast with him after if he still wants me, but yeah, that was our decision. Yeah.
One thing I like seeing is how much you're representing people with stutters, and I was wondering, has many people reached out to you, to ask for advice and stuff?
Yeah, I've been getting those for years now, and I never really saw myself as like a spokesman for speech impediments, but it was my dad. He has a speech impediment also. I got it from him. It's hereditary. It's not because CTE. Let's get that out there. I know I get asked that the most. Yeah, I'm happy. My daughter has a speech impediment, and it scares me. I know children are mean. I know how it was for me growing up in Chicago. It can be real mean. It's one of the reasons I went to all-boys school, because I realized when you remove the female, no offense, when you remove the females out of the room, the guys are a lot nicer. That's one of the reasons I went to all-guys high school. Don't regret that. But yeah, I hope other people, young people, old people, anyone with a speech impediment, or anyone who has a connection with anyone with a speech impediment, hope you can look at me and see that you can do whatever you want to do. Like, if you want to be a police officer, my dad's a cop, or just retired. If you want to be whatever, teacher, astronaut, you can, just a speech impediment. It just, don't allow people in their, I used to allow people, when they would ask me my name, I go, and they look at me like, are you special? Do you not know how to pronounce your own name? It used to, make me feel some type of way. Now I judge them. Are you that ignorant that you think me as a grown man, I don't know how to pronounce my own name? I have a speech impediment. I've gotten over it, but it took me a while until 27, 28. Doing these interviews helped also. I was a kid in high school. I wouldn't raise my hand if I knew the answer, because I was embarrassed. I didn't want people to laugh and all that stuff. I just want those people that also have a speech impediment to know that if people are laughing at you, it doesn't mean anything about you. It means a whole lot more about them and their character.
That's amazing, and it's great representation, so thank you. My last question was, you posted on your Instagram about our crisp flavors. I was wondering, did you try any? Because you said that it was nasty, but cheese and onions banging, actually.
I was scared to eat it.
You were scared?
I was scared to try it. But I'm real picky. I'm super, super basic. Back home, hamburgers, hot dogs, Alfredo. I'm picky. I eat like an 8-year-old. So don't use me as your skill for all Americans. Like, I know my brother, he's gonna eat everything when he gets here. He'll be here Friday. He's gonna eat everything. He always does. We're different. So
Thank you. Good luck for Saturday.